Hey guys, and welcome to another video and episode number 13 on the series My Cars, the series where we will go through every car I have owned so far. And there's been a lot, let me tell you. And today we are going to be focusing on my BMW E46 320 diesel from 2002. Before we begin, I just want to talk about two things real quick, and that is that you should subscribe to my channel and like this video. And number two is that I have some big news coming up on the channel that I will reveal pretty soon. So I'm excited to share the news, but I will hold on for a little bit, but stay tuned for the next couple of videos. But now, let's go into the story. Well, if you have watched the channel for a while, you perhaps know that I actually have owned a car like this previously as well. That was in episode number 6 of My Cars. If you haven't checked that video out, go check it out. And yeah, back at the time I wanted to buy another E46 320 diesel because I simply loved my first one. And I thought that would be a cool car to own. And they are super practical with being a touring or a wagon. And it's a diesel, so it's super cheap and economical to drive. And I think the M47 engine is reliable and it pulls good. I actually bought that car for I think 2,500 euros. So I made a YouTube video about fixing the first things on the car, and that was really small things. I remember fixing or adding on a cover for the front bumper. This was a facelift car with OEM, not MTEC2 or anything, bumper. So I fixed a cover for the tow hook or something I bought on eBay, I think, and I painted that in the car's color. I also bought some parking sensors for the rear bumper on eBay as well, quite cheap. That was actually a really nice fix because when I put the car in reverse, it always beeped for like 5 seconds. But after I swapped those two sensors, it was all good. So that was really nice. And I was also removed a thing on the underside with the exhaust because it made a huge rattle and the exhaust on the car was really bad. So I really had to fix it. A quick funny story actually about that terrible exhaust job from when I bought the car. Some dudes previously had put some planks under the exhaust, and one day actually that plank fell down on the ground off the car and it bounced up from the road again and into the fuel tank on the car and actually popped a hole in that plastic tank. So I drove around putting diesel all over the place through the city in my friend's driveway and everything, and that was so much work to fix, but I never made a video about that. That's what you get for doing a horrible job. You get that payback, you get that back to you, so that's not good to do that so bad. I remember also I bought some black 18-inch wheels for the car, which was really wide in the rear, and I thought those looked super cool, so I got some tires on those wheels and put them on the car, and they looked great. Did not look so good in the front though, but in the back they looked so good. And I also remember I took it to my first drift event. This was late summer, like I said. I was preparing the car for winter, and I took it to a drift event, and that also was pretty cool. Then a buddy of mine helped me to weld in a new exhaust on the car because, like I said, the old one was horrible. So we actually straight piped the car. I made a video about that, and that also was pretty cool to see that straight pipe under the car, and it sounded pretty good. I mean, those E46 320 diesels, if you remove the rear muffler, you get that really cool like the deep 4-banger sound from a diesel. Not too loud, but you get also that like boo when you release the throttle. That's so cool. So every time you put the throttle on and release it, it's like a blow-off valve. It's like boo because you hear the turbo through the exhaust. That's pretty fun. I then took it to a guy who helped me with polishing the car because the paint had some potential, and we polished it and it looked a lot better, especially the hood on the car or the bonnet. That looked a lot better after some polish. It's a good thing to get that connection with the car, making it look good. Then all of a sudden winter came, and I took the car immediately to an ice lake actually to drift around and have some fun. And let me tell you, that was really fun because that diesel engine has some torque. I think I chipped it if I'm not mistaken, and then it had like 400 Newton meters of torque. and I mean, you can feel that push. It's super powerful. So not super powerful, of course, but I mean, on ice, which is pretty slippery, it was really fun, and they could pull like second gear, third gear, fourth gear, no issue on the ice track. And I got some speeds, and it was a lot of fun enjoying that car. It did not have a welded diff, it was an open diff, but nevertheless, it was really, really fun. Then the whole time while I had the car, I also had those classical 3 lights in the dash, which you have often on E46s when the ABS sensor is broken. So I bought a new ABS sensor on eBay, and I got that in, and then I fixed the speedometer and those 3 warning signs in the speedometer. So that was quite nice, and that was quite easy fix as well, so it was a good feeling. I also removed the tint on the taillights on the car, and that also made it look more the way I wanted it to look. It was kind of cool with the tinted rear lights, but I kind of like the more OEM look, at least when you have the white turn signals. That's my opinion. Then I decided I wanted to fix the cold start, because in the cold weather I realized that the car was kind of having a hard time to start. And usually it's the glow plugs, so I swapped out the glow plugs. To do that, you have to take off the intake, and while I had the intake off, I thought it was a good idea to clean the intake, because there's a lot of black mess inside that intake. So we cleaned that as well, and the only thing that was kind of bad with that install or job with the new glow plugs is that it did not work. The car was still having a hard time doing the cold start. So I then swapped out the glow plug module on the car, and I think that's a really interesting subject, because a lot of people forget about that module, including myself, because it's much easier to change the glow plug module. So if you have E46 320 diesel, remember to check your module first before you start with the glow plugs. That could be a savior and a really easy fix. Then I had the car at an MOT, and I actually got several faults with the car. There was a lot of things that was not right. I remember the exhaust was not good. I had to fix some more brackets on the exhaust for it to sit right, because it was very loose. And then I also swapped out the brake lines on the car. Then we come to the kind of, I don't know, sad part about this, because after the winter was done, I then bought my E46 M3, and I remember having like some really bad winter tires on the E46 320 diesel, and I just parked it in the driveway, and it seriously was parked in the driveway in the exact same spot for the whole summer. I didn't use the car at all. I only used my M3, and I had my E36 325 Cabriolet as well. I had 3 cars back at that time, and I didn't use the car, but I had it in the driveway, paying insurance, paying a lot of stuff on it, and just letting it rot, you know. It's not a good feeling to do that. I don't know why I didn't do anything about it. It just sat there, so that was really bad. Yeah, so it was there for a whole summer, standing on winter tires, and then seriously, it was winter again, and then I was like, oh, maybe I can use that car. I think I actually had the car for 2 winter seasons, because I used it afterwards as well. So it just sat for the whole summer, and I put some fresh winter tires on it, and I used it for another winter season. So it was a good car and a lot of fun, but yeah. But I think I sold it for the same amount I bought it for, 2,500 euros or something around that. I don't quite remember, it's a long time ago. But I don't think I made any money, but I don't think I lost that much, considering, I mean, I bought a lot of parts for the car, so yes, I did lose some money, but it was not the worst deal in history. So yeah, it was all right, and it was a pretty cool car to have. But I would just have to say this for the record: the reason I bought that car was because I missed my other black E46 320 diesel I had 2-3 years before that. But this car never like really lived up to the standard of the other one, even though that first one had driven 340,000 kilometers. That was in so much better condition than this ever was. This had like 310, I think, 1,000 kilometers on the clock. But I mean, mileage does not matter. It's how good of a shape the car is in. But then again, it was a cheap car, so I don't know what I could expect. But anyways, I really thank you guys for watching this video. Please go down in the comment section below and tell me what was your favorite mod with that car, if you do remember it. And I hope that you enjoy these kind of videos. I at least enjoy making them and telling you the story of each car. But now we will have to wrap it up. Subscribe and like the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.